be seeing it.
Yeah. It made me miss the good old days where they had like a live audience and there was more
Yeah.
kind of leak to the media about like the unseen clips during the tell-all
Yeah.
because, there's so much more that happens. And I feel like, we haven't seen that in recent seasons. There hasn't been, that, E! Online or whoever it is covering,
Yes.
talking about that. And especially now with no live audience, there's like less to leak, obviously. So, yeah, I just was curious what we didn't see because I'm sure there was a lot
Yeah. I would
there
say that's
too.
the only thing that I miss about having a live audience, though. Like, I don't really need them there. There was always a lot of unnecessary footage of, look at these ladies in their t shirts and like asking ridiculous questions. I don't miss that, but I do miss the fact that we just won't know what else they cut out. And I feel like the editing just really threw me for a loop this season. Like, I just don't know. I can't make heads or tails of any of it. And I was
No, I
surprised, just that nobody was sticking up for Katie, and that made me wonder: did they edit that out? Because, for instance, like Brittany, if I were Brittany, I would be very appreciative that somebody
mhm.
brought that to his attention.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that everybody, that all of them on the stage would
Yeah,
all be kind of in agreement with being against Katie. Doesn't make sense.
yeah. I think what drove me
So,
craziest was just that I felt like Anna was the only one who actually apologized for her horrible behavior on the show.
yeah. And she wasn't by far the only one at fault. And
Yeah.
so it felt very much like she was put on the spot for it. And also, like, kind of, I don't know. It also bothered me that, it seemed like she hadn't reached out to do any sort of
Yeah,
additional
she should have.
apology outside of that. She had plenty of time, to do that. So,
Yeah,
like, doing
I
it,
think that
do,
that's ridiculous. Maybe she was afraid that like it wouldn't be received well by Brittany, but I think that she should have done that. But she is the only one who owned up to what she said and did to Matt and apologized in that situation and was owning up to it on,
mhm,
when Chris Harrison was asking her about it. So yeah, I do
yeah.
agree she should have reached out, and that's pretty bad. But I just it was so frustrating because you had MJ, you had Victoria, like all these people who were acting horribly, and Serena, is it C or P? The mean
See.
Serena. Okay, Serena C. I just wanted these people to have some kind of self reflection and be like, you know what, that was a good look. I shouldn't have done that, and I felt like I got none of that.
I felt like if anything, Victoria was like, I've been dealing with death threats or whatever, and
Yeah,
fine. Like she just kind of seemed, if anything, more kind of condescending, like and just set about like
it
whatever
was
she had to say.
horrible.
I mean, and I did like that they didn't really give her as much as they could have in other seasons. They didn't give her a ton of time to really kind of go
Mm-hmm.
on and on. I mean, she had a little bit of a moment, but like he didn't pull her up like by herself to talk to her. So I did appreciate
Yeah,
that. I guess her moment in the sun was like when she did the rounds of the talk show, or I guess she was just on the not Today Show, Good Morning America. But
yeah.
maybe that was like her moment to do that, and they kind of moved on from them, which is fine. But I did feel like she made zero effort to say anything that felt like she was acknowledging the fact that she was so horrible this whole season,
Yeah,
which I didn't like.
I
And she had a
felt like
terrible
she was
outfit.
being. Okay, she always does. I'll just leave that one alone. But like, okay, so she drove me crazy in two ways. One, that she was being super gaslighty to everybody and being like, "Well, I got death threats. Like, why don't you feel bad for me?" It's like, first of all, none of that should be happening. Like, the fans of the show are horrible at times. Like, nobody should be getting death threats. However, these things that are happening are because of your behavior, and so while they shouldn't be happening, you created the atmosphere that made that happen. And then you can't compare that to Brittany coming in and just you guys didn't like her and you spread bad rumors. Those are not two comparable situations. Like, Brittany did not do anything to facilitate what happened with her. She just showed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same.
No,
And
not at all.
and what drove